All right, what's up? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What's up? I remember that May song? Welcome. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, time to stop acting silly. Let's continue the story. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the throne room. Well, the Great Hall is how I like to call it. And I'm telling you about this this choir that is like the first thing you see when you open up the grand doors into where you about to go see God. He has his personal choir, and like I'm telling you guys, I'm saying this is actually a moment where I recall meeting Demi Lovato for the first time. Like, and this is what blows my mind because I really do feel that we've been meeting. We know each other even way before we done came down to earth. And it goes to show that, and I'll talk about this too, but when you're favored by God, when he sends you down to earth, it looks like he puts you in a position where you don't got to struggle. You're going to live lavishly, because that's the only thing I can explain about how Demi is where she's at and where I'm at right here, to a point where I'm going to explain why I'm here, because it all goes with everything I'm telling you now. And you're going to understand why God put me in this position to be where I'm at, to go through what I'm going through, compared to her, where she done got here and she just did Barney. And then after Barney, she done blew up to be this beautiful, gorgeous star. But she's getting sidetracked a little bit because these demons trying to fight my woman real quick. And we're going to get to how oh man, it's going to get juicy, y'all. It's going to get juicy, y'all. But check this out, though. She's favored by God because she was in the choir to God's great hall. And I feel like if you're favored by God and you were that close in heaven, when he sent you down here to live a life, which is what we're all doing, having a chance to live and then have kids and then have families and grandkids and then be able to die, because in heaven you live eternally. In heaven, there ain't no time limit to, oh, you only get 80 years of life and you die. You know what I'm saying? Like in heaven, God can say, you know what, I'm gonna send you back to earth, live another life, type of mindset. So because of that, when he sent Demi to earth to live, he's like, that's my favorite, that's my daughter. And she ain't gonna struggle. I'm gonna put her in a position, she's gonna be a celebrity, she ain't gonna have to worry about money and finances, she's gonna be good and taken care of. Not only that, but she's my favorite daughter. I'm going to make sure I give her a warrior. I'm going to give her a king. I'm going to give her a knight in shining armor that can't nobody contest. She a champion. That's where I come in. But we'll get there. So because of that blessing that God done bestowed upon Demi and put her in a position to flourish here on earth, like from birth, from childhood, she was that close to God. She was that close to God in the sense of she was in the choir that sings for God. Now, it's not surprising because here she is on earth and she's tapping into one of her talents of singing. Now, I can be honest with you and tell you she hasn't even hit the notes and the keys that God has locked away in her body. When I get to her, once our lights connect, the way I'm trying to explain this story without trying to sound crazy, y'all gonna understand this girl can sing. She sings in God's choir, but she hasn't opened up that third eye. She can't unlock that voice that is like, yo, did that come out of that little girl? No, that's not real. That has to be some. You seen the old lady? She blew up on she was on America's Got Talent or something, and this old lady sang some kind of opera song, and it's like, no way that old lady has that air. No way she can belt like that. No way she can blow like that. No. But she was and doing some kind of shit. I don't want to even I made it sound so horrible. Don't take my song voice for that. But understand, I gotta find her. She's saying something so big. I'm like, whoa, everybody was shocked. Like that's not gonna. But anyway, that mindset, if you've seen that old lady sing on America's Got Talent and do the opera thing and sing that beautifully, let's just say it doesn't even come close to what Demi has not even tapped into. She sings amongst creatures that God's created that would freak me out And I'm sitting here looking at this girl like, you are so brave, singing with that half goat, half man, with literally the goat head, and then the man's body in white robes, and then there's a peacock with some eyes, and I'm like, whoa, I'm tripping. I have to be tripping. This is not. I'm like, God's created creatures that y'all looking at animals, and there's so many animals on this earth, but y'all haven't even understood the creatures that God has created, to a point where we get a taste of it, and people on the planet will be shocked. Like when you see Lord of the Rings, or when you see a Minotaur or something, you're like, oh my goodness, who would think about something like that? That's kind of cool. It's because they're real. They're just in heaven. Oh my goodness, y'all haven't opened up that locked away in your brain melanin stuff. Oh, but anyway, let's get back to the Great Hall. So Demi here is in the choir, and the reason why I bring it up is how she is blessed to be where she's at. This is how I know she was mine, because in heaven, I don't know what it was. I don't know if we lived so long that God said, y'all need to find y'all purpose. Because I honestly do feel like there was a point in time, Demi was mine in heaven, to a point. We were dating. We were like, more than dating, we were each other's soulmates, to a point where it got to a point where I'm looking at this chick like, we're always together, and then I'm starting to question myself, like, why am I here, and who am I? And I think that's when God knows, like, oh, there's a soul that's curious to their being, and so he sends you to earth to find your purpose, to find your being. Because when you're just a soul just in heaven, enjoying, I don't know if I would call it life, because it's eternal living, but when you're a soul going on, because there's theme parks in heaven, there's malls, we'll get to that point, there's games, there's events, there's concerts, there's just things in heaven that's on earth, but people are overthinking this. We'll get to that, but I just had to mention that because we was already living together. Me and Demi was already together before we was sent to earth. So from that moment where I had to know my purpose, and me realizing that I had seen her in this choir, like, I remember the moment I connected with her. She was singing, and when I got into the throne room, I'm just looking in amazement at this choir, and I'm like, this is amazing music. How are y'all singing like this? This is really cool. And I forgot that God didn't call me to the throne, and I'm just sitting here just locked in on the choir, and they're just singing. And as they're singing, there's this one voice in that whole choir that just keep pulling my heart. And I'm like, oh my, keep singing, please. Don't stop. Just keep going. And literally, I'm trying to find out, where's that voice coming from? And my eyes lock with Demi in the choir. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And we're looking at you, and she just keeps singing. And it was in that moment in heaven, I knew I fell in love with her right at that point. And here I am trying to think, like, did I just forget she was mine? And God had to show, like, y'all always going to be pulled to each other. Like, it's almost like Hancock, like the movie Hancock with Charlize Theron and Will Smith, where they say they're angels sent down, and every time they get drawn to each other's, horrific stuff happens, like a tsunami or a plague or whatever they were talking about. It's almost like that with, she and I, that I can recall, to a point where it's like we get drawn to each other. We literally get drawn to each other. And so in that moment in heaven, here I am getting drawn to her again, and it's like it never gets old, because I just love her, and I'm staring at, I'm like I love you, and she's just looking at me like loving me too, and she's just so gorgeous in the choir. Like, there's no obesity, there's no fatness, everybody's healthy, everybody look really gorgeous in heaven, by the way. I'm just saying that so people don't look at the image now and be like, that's what you were seeing, it's calling it gorgeous. No. The true, like, when she get with me, we're gonna unlock even that. And I'm gonna just give y'all a hint. I ain't gonna show y'all the true beauty that girl is, but I'm looking at that true beauty. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My heart is melting. So then here it is now. We're done. We're done past that point. And now we're going into, the hall, the great hall. Now we're past the choir. Now, it's like a party up in God's little throne room. And I can't even say little throne room. It's a party up in God's throne room. Because people of, like, people all over the backgrounds are just chilling. It's like a cocktail party in the throne room. People are talking, mingling, and they're drinking. I don't. Were they drinking? They were holding stuff to drink in chalices, and then eating fruit. And they were eating the fruit of life. Now this is a story about the fruit of life, because, and it goes hand in hand with me being in this room that basically is a cocktail party room, before you can even get near God. So anyway, people are in there, and Thomas, was taking me around. So we make a quick stop into this cocktail party. So I'm seeing everybody talking, everybody mingling, and I'm like, yo, where am I? This is kind of nice. This is chill. This is chill. And so as I'm like kind of looking around, I remember kind of like in a group of men. Right off the bat, I'll just say it just in case I forget. Basically, I was hanging with the disciples. Y'all remember the what was it, 12 disciples that Jesus had, his followers? Yeah, I was hanging with them. Straight up, no lie, I promise you from the bottom of my heart. I was hanging with the 12 disciples in this cocktail party, right? And we're all in the throne room. Well, the cocktail throne room part. Which I didn't even mention. The floor is made out of gold, period. I just had to say that because you can't miss it. You walk in and you like gold bricks are in the ground. Like as if they're stone, but they're gold. And you definitely, you can't miss it. You can't even say it's not gold. You can't even say it's fake. You like stomping on the ground like, gold? Dang, who rich ass house is this? It's wild. Wild. Anyway, floor's made out of gold. In a cocktail party. I'm hanging with the disciples. I don't know the disciples at this point, right? I don't know anything basically what's going on when I'm in heaven, but we'll recall everything. And I'll tell you, we're about to get to the point where we're going to recall everything. So anyway, as I'm hanging out with the disciples, not knowing that they're disciples, just a bunch of men chilling, shooting the shit. Let me be real with you. God know me. God created me this way for a reason, and He wanted me to share the message the way I can share the message. So I'm gonna share it the way I share it, and this is why I'm gonna explain why y'all overthinking God, because God is so chill. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So here it is. We're shooting the shit and just chilling. And as we're chilling, it looks like everything I'm thinking is just being said aloud. Like I don't have my own thoughts. My thoughts are the words that come out of my mouth. It's like as I'm thinking and saying something, everybody's literally hearing me. So I'm hanging with the 12 disciples, and I guess Thomas is telling them about me. And as he's telling them, let's just say I can't remember specifically what Thomas was saying, but in a way where he was like God had something special for this guy. Like y'all don't even understand what he gonna do, but he gonna do it. And everybody's just like looking at like this guy, and yeah, I know, like wow, like oh my goodness, like yeah, and they're like whoa. So they're looking at me and they're getting excited now to hang with me. Like it's like I'm a popular kid, but I'm like dog, y'all stop looking at me like that. Like what are y'all doing? So then here it is. I believe his name is Matthew. It had to be Matthew. It feels like it's supposed to be a Matthew that was talking to me at this point in time, because here it is. Matthew offers me a fruit. And he's like, here, take this, eat this. Here you go. So I'm like, dang, bro, you gotta press up on me with that. Like, why are you trying to give me the fruit, bro? Like, chill a little bit. It's like, no, just here, have a, oh, it's really good. Here, have some, you know? So now I don't take the fruit. I'm like, all right, let me take it from you before you come think something else. Like, so now I'm holding it, just trying to, like, as if it was like a glass of wine. I'm just chilling. So take a bite. Try it, man. Take a bite. This is the fruit of life, ladies and gentlemen. The fruit of life. One more time. The fruit of life. Okay. I have the fruit of life in my hand. And Matthew's over here telling me, take a bite. Take a bite, man. Come on, take a bite, bro. Like encouraging me to eat life. Because I'm finna come back to it. So I'm looking at Matthew, and Matthew's like, and like I said, everything you think about, you say it aloud. So I'm saying in my head, apparently, but clearly out loud to everybody else. I'm like, why is this dude trying to make me eat this fruit? Like, dude. And then I start talking to myself, but talking to, so just so I don't have to keep saying this, everything I'm saying, I'm not saying aloud. I'm saying in my head, but everybody else is saying it. That's clarified. So from now on, from everything I say, I'm not trying to say it out loud for everybody to hear it. I'm saying it in my head. I just, that is not clicking that everybody's hearing it. Okay, so we got that settled now. Now I can say how it went down. So I got the food in the life, and I'm thinking, why is this dude trying to press up on me with eating his fruit? Like, he gotta chill a little bit, man. Wait a minute. Is he trying to poison me? Like, nah, he trying to poison you, bro. Don't eat that fruit, bro. Oh my good. Yo, this is supposed to be a nightmare. I think they're trying to kill me in this dream, bro. They're trying to make me eat stuff that I'm not supposed to eat. And I'm like, oh, Lord, please be with me. They're trying to, Lord, oh my goodness, I'm not trying to eat. My grandma done taught me. She said, don't eat in your dreams. Don't eat in your sleep. It's not good. It's not good. And I'm thinking, I'm like, but grandma said it's, so you can eat candy, you can eat sweets. That's a blessing. Just don't eat meat and hot food. I'm like, oh, but is this is in between. I don't know. This is fruit. Oh, my grandma didn't teach me about fruit. Like, yo, oh. But he said fruit of life. But it can take your life. So I'm still talking now. This is everybody just looking at me just like smirking and laughing like this dude is something else. And I'm like, all right, they still looking at me? Oh, word? Oh my God, are they looking at me? Okay, I'm gonna have to fake this bite. So then I put the fruit, I almost called it an apple. It looks almost like an apple or a pear, but it's a small kind of apple, but like a pear, and it's gold in color. That's the fruit of life for you. And so I almost call it apple, but if I say apple, you know it's like a pear or an apple. It's small, like a peach, a plum, and then it's golden color. So I'm like, hi. Take a bite, put that in the side of my cheek. And they're just looking at me, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm not swallowing this. As soon as they're not looking, I'm going to spit it out. And so they're just staring at me, and as they're looking at me, I'm like, hey, what's up? What's up? You feeling good? Yeah. Okay, cool. And they're like, he's just not having it. And I'm like, Lord, they really want me to eat this. Lord, please be with me, Lord. I'm going to eat this, but don't let me die. It's like, I'm already dead. And I'm telling myself, don't let me die. So then I done swallowed the fruit. And it looks like when I kept saying, Lord, like, don't make me eat this. Like, I don't want to die. By the time I swallowed the fruit, the bite of the fruit, Matthew and a few of the other disciples that were standing in a circle with it, like just kind of chilling, he done looks over and says, hey, Jesus, come over here. Straight up like he was a thug, like some kind of G, like we in a club or something. Like we homies. Hey, Jesus, come over here real quick. Come here. And then, oh, yeah, I met Jesus, guys. Yo. Oh, my goodness gracious. Matthew done called Jesus over just like another homie. Hey, Jesus, come over here. So Jesus comes as he's walking. I'm like, Jesus? Once, you already know. Jesus? Like, who? Oh, what kind of dream is this? They're making me eat food. Now they're going to have images of Jesus. This got to be the most demonic, devilish dream ever. Like, they better chill. They done already been forcing the pictures of Jesus on earth so much that it's like everybody got their image of how Jesus looked like. So then here it is. Jesus is walking, coming right at me, right? And he got this pep to his step that is like so thuggish. It's like he was like just walking like with ease, just. And then as he's walking, he looking at me like, you know, like God, dum 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 dum. That's how I could just think about it. Like the movement was just like on rhythm, like just floating. And then he comes, but as he's walking towards me, I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, so this is who they call Jesus. This is who they okay, he's a handsome guy. He's good looking. At least they made my Jesus looking good. Can't be a demonic dream. Remember, I'm thinking, you already know, thinking, talking, okay. I'm like, man, you look good. Handsome guy. All right. So it can't be no demonic dream because look, demons look ugly. They turn into a form. You can see their true color and they look ugly. So this guy, he's a good looking guy. He's really handsome. He's attractive. Okay, so I can that can be my Jesus because he is, and he's got a good little vibe to him, right? He looks tall. He's tall. Okay, yeah, good leadership quality. That's a king. I could definitely feel like he's a king. And he comes to me. And these guys are just laughing as I'm saying all of this. They're cracking up. They're like, this dude, like, yo, I wish I could be there when he do what he gotta do for God. Cause I don't know at this point. Like, this kid is funny. They just going on. So then Jesus still coming. I'm still thinking, talking. And Matthew again, he just yells out, he said, hey, Jesus, show him. Show him, Jesus. And everybody's getting excited. Show him, Jesus. Show him. Show him. And I'm like, show me what? What kind of freaky dream is this? You better don't show me nothing. And as they're just telling him, show him, Jesus just smiles and he had something, I don't know if it was a clipboard, but all I know is he either put it on his arm or he just put it down. I think he put it in his arm and then he done just opened his hands and just showed me his hands. Like, I'm like, you got something in your hands you want to give me or something? No. And as I'm trying to say, like, I don't see nothing. I'm like, and I'm looking, and in the palm of his hands, pure light. I can't explain it any other way, but there's just a beautiful rainbow of light. It's crystallized. It's clear. It's white. It's so like not blinding, but it's so just addicting and energy just drawing you. The light is like beautiful. And your eyes water like it's tearing to just look at the beauty of the light in his hands. And I'm sitting there just sinking into Jesus' hands like, oh, what am I? That's the mark of winning. And God done said he got it. But not right now. Lock that away. OMG, as in, oh my goodness. Here we go. It's time to meet the big guy. And I don't know how. Look, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again in any other video. I'm going to tell you right now. To be favored by God. Let me tell y'all, why he chose me, why he want to use me. I'm more than honored. I'm more than it's just there's no amount of words that can explain what I'm trying to get out when I'm saying God favored me for me to meet him. You don't just meet God. You don't even just meet Jesus. Let me just be real with you. He's chilling in the throne room and he cooling with everybody else. Just being a king, but normal boy. You bow to him without you. Like while I'm looking at his hands, I'm bowing to the king. Like, oh Lord, yes. Wow. You done died for our sin. That's the marks, bruh. You real. Anyway. From that point, we'll get moving on to where God is, right? And people still eating the fruit of life. And they got this thing that they do in heaven. When one person, and it reminded me of boot camp in the Marine Corps, because what they do in boot camp is when a drill instructor needs you in boot camp, they'll call your name, and then what is taught is that when they call your name, everybody else in the whole entire platoon has to repeat your name and keep calling you until you get it to the drill instructor, or until you say, to get the task, the mission, or whatever. So how it would work would be like, when they call more, they'll be like, more, and then everybody like, more, until you get over there, like, you seen your instructor, and blah, 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 Well, there was something like that in heaven. It is so joyous and glorious and honorable to just feel the way you feel when you're around God. And that's why I say people are overlooking him. They're thinking way too much into him, and they're not understanding that he is the Almighty Father. He's basically a parent. Okay? He's basically a parent, and all he's saying is, talk to me, pray to me, communicate with me. You're my child. You're my creation. I done created you. Don't lose sight. Don't think I'm judging you. You look at the stories in the Bible, the people who messed up and God just favored them and blessed them. David, King David, done sent his best friend to the front lines because he wanted his best friend's girl. He said his best friend's girl was banging. Like ain't nobody else could fulfill David's thirst for love or romance or whatever it was, because he done sent his best friend to war, put him on the front lines just so he can be with old dude's wife. Like, oh, he dead now? Okay, cool. Basically, y'all divorced. I can be with you now. Come be with me. And God still favored David. I mean, God did punish him and say, okay, well, I'm going to take your firstborn son because that was wrong. That was so wrong. Like, I done like you, David. I picked you when you were a little boy slinging rocks. And now you out here stealing wives out here, huh? Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to take you and her firstborn because that was disrespectful. And then the dude who you done sent to get killed, he up here chilling with me, and I'm going to make sure he take care of your son like it's his son now. So your son not going to know who you are. He going to actually be mad at you because he going to be with your best friend now. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. God's just like, just communicate with me. It's like your parents want to be like, how come you don't call? Like, this is my mom. She'd be like, how come you don't call? I just want to check on you. I want to see how you're doing. Are you okay? You know, I love you, okay? If anything happens, you can talk to me and this and that. It's like, yeah, ma, I know I'm just busy and this and that and that. God's just a parent that just cares. And when people think that when you make a mistake, you can't go to him, and you make a mistake again, you still can't go to him. You make a mistake again, you still can't go to him, and you gotta just be like, you know what? Well, there's a place in hell waiting for me. There's a nice little room. They got my name on it, and it's like that's not the mindset God even had. God done. Well, we'll get there. We're going to talk about that. Right now, I gotta go to the story of when I said when they call you in the boot camp, it's call your name. Everybody repeat it. Well, they had that same kind of mindset, that same kind of thing in heaven where the glory, the magnificent feeling you feel about being around God, you say, glory be to God. And then when you say that, everybody echoes it, but it feels good. It's like you get chill, you get an energy surge. And it's like you want to fly because you feel so good, and it's almost like a Marine shouting to the core, and everybody like to the core, and it's like just like a battle cry. It's like glory be to God. Everybody like glory be to God, and it's like yeah, like it's like if you a warrior, you won't go to battle. If you a singer, you want to start singing. If you were an actor, you gonna start acting like Shakespeare, and it's like you just feeling on another level. It's how I can explain that. But when one person said glory be to God, and then it just everybody just kept, it's like the next person wanted to shout it. It's like on a team when you were like, are the dogs in the house? Are the dogs in the house? What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. Are the dogs in the house? You know, like then the next person want to say it. What time is it? And it's like it's just everybody want to just say it. So everybody want to just start shouting out, glory be to God. Like it's like you should try. He says it. Glory be to God. And everybody like, glory be to God. He's like, oh snap, I didn't start the chant. You know, it's like the way one person started, next person. That's that feeling. It's on another level. Anyway, I'm hearing this chants as I'm going closer to God. Now the room is starting to get quiet. Everybody whispering. Just, who's this guy over here? Oh my God. That's what God's going to let him do. He's going to do that. No, stop. That can't be. He's that blessed. He's that anointed. Yeah, God, I'm going to use him. Like, he's here. He's about to go back right now. We're about to see it. This is what they're saying. I don't know if you can hear me whispering, but that's exactly what's going on. They're whispering. I'm walking and I'm hearing these people whispering. I'm looking around like, why are everybody just staring at me? What is going on? And then as I'm walking, as I'm getting closer to this being, I'm looking ahead. I'm like, Wait a minute. Whoa, that's a big old leg. Like, let me be real with you. I didn't cuss in heaven, but right now, I'm going to just say how I felt. That's a big ass leg. Dang. God is a giant. A giant. Okay, like, there's a reason why they say God. Because he is a giant. When I tell you, you know what they used to say? God's just a kid with a magnifying glass on an anthill. Straight up, in a way, they have that a little bit, not even a little bit, they have that close up. Because I get to the point where I'm right next to God's feet. And by the way, his feet are so gorgeous. It's beautifully manicured and it's in sandals. And he's sitting on the throne. And his feet are just perfectly set apart. And you can tell he's wearing a robe because the robe comes down to like his knees. So you can see his calves and you can see his toes and you can see his feet in the sandals. But besides that, you ain't seeing nothing else. You're not looking at God's face. You are not looking at anywhere near his, before I can say his belly button. You ain't seeing nothing past his knees before I can say calves or thighs. So here it is. I'm getting close to this large leg. And I'm looking like an ant compared to what you not. God ain't just some guy with a beard and walking around with Jesus. No. God is a God. He's a giant. He's an almighty, powerful being. And he's sitting on the throne. And as I'm walking closer to this large leg and not realizing I'm going closer to God, right? As I get closer and closer, I feel some kind of pressure. Like it's pressing on me. And I'm trying to like stand up, like fight it, right? But as I get closer and closer to this leg, because I'm still curious to this leg, like, what is that? I'm feeling this pressure push me down. I'm like, yeah, stop. And I'm fighting this pressure, pushing it off. And I'm still walking. And as I get closer and closer, I'm going completely all the way down to my knees, hands, and face. Completely bowing down to the almighty, powerful God. Now, I'm going to tell you this. That was the might. That's what they call the might of God. The might of God saying, you are in the presence of power. You are nowhere near close to ever disrespecting God by standing in front of his presence. You have no choice. You're finna bow down. That might done put me on my face, my knees, and here I am trying to look up in the corner of my eye to try to look to see who has these beautiful feet and this gorgeous leg, this muscular calf, and I'm trying to look up and all I see is just mist, just a foggy area. Just you can't see nothing. Just you. I'm looking hard. I'm like, why is it misty? My eyes fogging. Like, I would learn that all of that mist that you can't see from the knees all the way up to his upper part of the body, those were angels. This is what I learned. Because we're about to wrap it up to seeing how did I know I was in heaven? How did I understand that I went to heaven? Right? So here it is. The mist was angels. And it was told to my understanding that the angels are moving so fast around God to protect him and to keep him hidden that it causes a mist. It looks like a mist. And when I was told that, I'm like, oh my goodness. I believe it. Because there was a time where when I even try to look up, an angel just come and like swipe past my face. Like, stop trying to look at the king. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. Shoot, you're not even supposed to be this close. And God's just like, you can feel him smiling at me, like he's just so proud of me. And he's like, leave my son alone. He know why he's coming to his father. And literally, God just allowed me to, that's why I said to be favored. Like, he allowed me that close to be at his feet, bowing down. Nah, without striking me down. He said, nah, that's my son. Leave him, let him be. So the angels done stop swooping at my face. And I just feel him being proud of me, just smiling. And then from that point, God took a deep breath. I can't even say a deep breath because it's more like he just said. But to me, it was like, and I woke up out of my death. Because I can't say a resurrection or a rebirth. I woke up out of my death. When I woke up, like I told you, I suffocated myself. And so taking a little visit to heaven, God literally had to breathe life back into me for me to come back here. That's what I mean by favoritism. Picked me out of a line of people waiting to get into heaven. Just knew, no, he's not supposed to be there. Somebody go grab my son out that line. Why is he in that line? What happened? Angel Michael, aren't you supposed to be protecting Nenday? What is going on down there? Angel Michael, like, Lord, they didn't even put him on the team, Lord. They didn't put him on the team. I didn't know what to do, but this kid, he needed to see you. He needed to talk to you because I couldn't even explain it to him if I tried. He needed to see you, Lord, because, and God just like, almost in a sense like, all right. Fair enough. Wow. So they ain't put him on a team? Nah, Lord, no, they did not. Like, he done even, we transferred him from this school to that school. They still don't want him to play. They done, wait, is this the state of Minnesota? Yeah, Lord. Yep, the state of Minnesota, Lord. The ones that be killing black people left and right. Stop playing. They still killing black people left and right. I thought we done end that slavery nonsense. Nah, Lord, I guess they slick with it now. They be slick with it, Lord. And I felt bad for a little kid, man, because he ain't doing nothing. He don't cause problem. He don't start nothing with nobody. He be doing his stuff, Lord. God, like, I know. He always be praying to me. He always be talking with me. And it's going to go happen. They don't want to put him on a team. Say less. Get him out that line. Bring him to me. Personally. Let him come right before me. He's finna be anointed to a point where ain't nobody finna bring him down. He's going to be the champion of champions. He's going to be so far great. People going to have to remember that name that I done gave you. Which one of y'all angels done gave the mom the name? Yeah, okay. They going to remember that name. The name they can't pronounce is the name they're going to be saying and cheering all day, every day. It's going to ring through the history book. They want to play this game with me. All right, fair enough. Straight up. That's how I can explain the feeling of what God was doing for this whole process. Because I promise you, there's people who done persecuted Jesus that's still waiting in line to get into heaven. The line is that long. There's people who died thousands of years ago, before I can even say a couple hundred years ago, that are waiting to get into heaven. There's people that are like atheists, straight up, who said they don't believe in God, they believe in science, it's not real, it's a bunch of load. And because of that, God said, well, they acted like they don't know me, so I don't know them. So they can keep waiting right there as long as they want. At least they not in hell because they didn't do nothing bad. But they didn't want to respect the fact that I am God. I am God. So they're going to have to wait in that line. They said, well, a day is 1,000 years to me, right? Okay, so multiply every single day they lived on earth. Multiply that by 1,000. That's how long they're going to have to wait out there before they come into the heaven. That's what we're going to do. Y'all think God ain't cool? Y'all think God ain't chill? Oh, okay. All right. God can play the same game y'all play. And y'all out here messing around with him. He's literally saying, kid, you going to go back, you're going to share this story. And when you share this story, not only that, I'm going to put you in a position that you're going to do great things that's going to blow people's minds. And everybody that done overlooked you, they gonna feel just you. We gonna leave it at that, kid. You gonna understand, but you gotta go back. You gotta go back. It's not your time. It's not your time. You have to go back. I got something for you to do. You gotta go back. So here it is. I'm sitting here like with my best friend because we're about to get to the point where we have 40 minutes. Oh, you guys gonna get mad at me? I tell you what, we're gonna leave it on a note where I'm gonna tell you how I recall this whole heaven experience and how everything came to be understood that I had done died. No, excuse me. So because of that, 40 minutes. Because of that, I'll just leave it off at continuing with what I was speaking about heaven. God, we're gonna talk about him, how cool he is, and how y'all overthinking God, and that's not the mission. That's not what he wants. He wants to connect with us, and that's where we're gonna continue because, well, I'll share how I understood heaven, and then we're gonna touch into what is God really expecting from us. What is the purpose? What, and especially with me, why did I come back? Why did God bring me back? We're gonna get into it. So let me just leave this one on this note, and then we'll pick up right at me recalling the trip I took to heaven. Man, I'm telling you, wow. God done said, go get my son out that line. He ain't waiting nothing. Always praying to me, always fasting. He ain't never gave up on me. Yo, we go get him. But anyway, stay tuned. Y'all gonna continue the story.